All right, guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore qualifiers here for the Korea and Taiwanese regions, as we have now Rain versus Hydra to see who advances onto the grand final of the open bracket.
Yeah, that's right, to see if they can get closer and closer towards that IM Singapore plane ticket and hotel, where they can compete at the IM Singapore tournament. We are getting close. This is going to be a good one. Rain versus Hydra. Hydra's been demolishing Protoss players so far in the first stage of this tournament, and now in the second one as well. But he goes up against one of the best, top 3 Protoss players in the world now.
Yep. We are going to find out who advances on. Let's jump into game at number 1, guys, as we find out who's going to win on Derelict Watcher. We have spawned down to the bottom left-hand corner, Mr. Rain. Here has our yellow Protoss. And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg. We have Hydra.
Yeah. From what I've been reading, really know, well, I do know, but I haven't seen Hydra in quite a while. So, from what I've seen, or at least kind of heard rumors about, he's playing a lot of Zergling Hydralisk, hence his name Hydra, into Mutalisk switches. And that can be very deadly. Can be very deadly indeed. So I'm kind of excited to see what he's going to bring against Rain here. As you said, he's beating like Protoss player after Protoss player after Protoss player.
Yeah.
Have a look again.
That's actually all he's had to play, I think, the whole tournament long.
Where are you, Hydra? Let me have a look.
All right. Interestingly enough, we have a really early pull here, Sean.
What was it? I wasn't looking. I was looking at a bracket.
I think it was like a 9 or a 10 pull.
Okay, I wasn't looking. Sorry. This is not going to work out too well.
No.
Not against this, as you can see. There's already a gateway on the way. He's beaten Trend, Younghwa, Zest to get to this part of the bracket, and then he beat Deer and Classic today. So he's beaten like 4 or 5 Protoss players. But yeah, so he's got this early pool. I guess it's like a 9 pool. I wasn't watching closely.
It was one of those, 9 or 10. Because he doesn't have too bad an economy behind it as well. So
the thing is, though, the way that Rain is playing with his build here, you sometimes see a skip Zealot to get the faster Nexus down. I think he'll, well, obviously get the Cyber Core, and then he may purchase a Zealot and then cancel it like on 90%. If he cancels a Zealot, this becomes hard. But at least he has the second pylon inside his main base. We do sometimes see Protoss players build the second pylon down on the natural for a faster get ready for a wall off. The Zealot's being made here. The Mothership Core is obviously going to come out as soon as the Cyber Core finishes. Does he cancel the Zealot though to get a faster Nexus? If he does, then he could be in. He's going to lose probes. That's for sure.
Well, this probe, I mean, already having gone down to the natural and started mining as well. It's funny actually because he was basically checking with that probe that there wasn't any hatchery as natural.
He cancels it! Oh, he cancels it the last second! And he's like, oh, I wish I didn't do that.
Yeah, because the poor little Zerglings, they poked in just as that happened.
Oh, that's annoying.
Oh, dear.
He did cancel it. Oh, God.
All right, well, Zergling's going to start going to work on these probes. But if he controls it well enough, he actually might not lose a single probe. Because right now, he hasn't. And he actually goes for the surround here, so does lose 1 probe.
2, 3 maybe.
3, 4. Any more? Unfortunately, Mothership Core's DPS isn't that high, so...
Yeah, he's got 5.
Yeah.
And 2 Lings get out, so that's actually really good. That was actually perfect. I mean, he forced a Stalker out. The Stalker's not something you really want to get out this early. And he's killed 5 probes. The Nexus is slowed down. He's already got his hatchery down. Good attack. But it really did come down to that Zealot being cancelled. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been as successful. Oh, that Overlord.
Or is it going to die?
I think so, yes.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get the high ground vision, and that's got nowhere to retreat to.
Yeah, so that's actually, that kind of lowers the actual damage that was dealt here.
Oh, well.
So he's supply blocked, and he does not have an Overlord. So that's actually a nice... That's kind of a nice... It's almost like a counter damage, I suppose. It's not like a proper counter, but counter damage at least.
Takes a while for him to get out of that. And the thirds goes down as well here for Hydra. So the one thing that I saw a lot of what Hydra was doing yesterday was the fact that, yes, he was using a lot of Ling Hydra play, but obviously... as well, there was an incorporation of roaches from time to time when he felt pressured, which is, you know, just what you have to do in these situations as a Zerg. So we may see that.
Rain's got 3 gateways instead of the Nexus. After killing the Overlord, he's like, well, wait a minute. Let me try something here.
Yeah.
He's got the probe on the other side. He's going to go for an attack. But there are 14 Zerglings being made.
Yeah, Hydra's preparing himself quite well.
Either. Don't lose that probe. That's got to build a pylon here.
Unless he's not doing that. Unless he thought that his opponent was being a bit more aggressive. He didn't see the 3rd base just yet, and he's now going to poke up there and be like, I don't think, you know, after having those Lings in production and this Roach warrant going down as well, he can't really do anything with this.
Oh, that's a lot of Zerglings. Now he's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He can't be aggressive now upon seeing all these Zerglings. He might be even expecting Zergling speed. The thing is, though, that Hydra is now seeing the lack of Nexus and immediately put down a Roach Warren expecting some kind of gateway attack. This is a weird game.
Very weird.
Rain is going to expand here. But this is, I don't think he was expecting to see that many Zerglings.
This natural
the
is...
Stalker got surrounded as well.
Did it? Oh, but this natural is so late. So late.
Yeah, this is really bad. Because, I mean, he decided to throw down these extra gateways. I'm not too sure what the exact reason was, unless he was expecting, because he didn't scout. He never saw the main base. So if he tried to get the Nexus down, he could have lost if the follow-up was Zergling speed. He could have lost. So it was either that he was going to play defensive against that or has the option to be aggressive. And nothing happened. He didn't defend against anything, and he wasn't aggressive against anything. So he has a much later Nexus, and as you can see, there's already 38 drones.
Again, it feels like we're back in Wings of Liberty with this kind of expansion, with the 3 gateway sentry play out to that natural. But Hydra behind this is absolutely flying. He's just drones on 3 base, and he's going to have a lot of lava to spend. So Rain right now, he sees this 3rd base, and I think he's not particularly pleased with his current position.
No, this is not good at all here. This is not a good position to be in. He sees the drone count's very high. He sees a layer already on the way. It means his opponent's gone up to Hydros rather fast here. Rain's added on 2 extra gateways. No Stargate, no Robo, no nothing. The one thing he does have is, of course, a lot of Sentry energy. Can he get to his opponent before Hydros even come out? Remember, there is a Roach Warren, which has been spotted, though. I don't think he can do anything here. It's too difficult.
It is. It really is. I mean, there was a few gateways added on at the front here for Rain, so he does have quite a bit of production. He has 5 gateways in total, but he's adding on the Robo facility. I mean, dare I say it, we might even see him just go for a Warp Prism and try and make something happen like that, but even that, I don't think is going to work here. Hydra just has too much.
Yeah, there's no attack upgrade here. There's a lot of links that actually could break through if he's not careful. Recall did happen. I'm trying to think where Rain can really go from this position. I guess he just has to play from behind. He just has to go up to Colossus immediately. He can't really take a fast 3rd. The Hydraless Den should absolutely be coming down nice and fast here. And drone up towards his 3rd base as well.
It's a weird disjointed game right now that I wasn't really expecting here in game number 1, but Immortals begin production as well as Chrono Boost into them. So how many probes are we at? We're at 45. He's still producing a few more, and there's the Spire going down from Hydra.
Not a Hydra's 10 Spire, and it is hidden on the 3rd.
I think it was Hydra yesterday who was actually proxying Spires. I can't remember if it was him or not. It was one of the Zergs.
Really trying to find out what's going on. You need to know if it's a Hydra's 10, a Spire, if it's just roaches.
He's a tricky guy as Hydra sometimes. Again, he can throw down like infestation pits, put the Spire elsewhere if he wants to. The Hallucinated Phoenix actually isn't going to see this Spire for a little while.
But, I mean, Rain's going to take this 3rd now, and he has got it quite defensively. No Robotics Bay, though. It's just Immortals for the time being. Spire still undetected, and he's going to have a very hard time against Mutalisks here.
Yeah.
Very hard time, unless he sees this.
Look at where Hydra's setting himself up, though. Ooh, tries to throw down Force Fields a little bit haphazardly here, really not getting the good connections. The Zerglings wrap around everything, and the Roach is doing the damage from behind as well. Yeah, GG. Game number 1
as soon as that happens,
you're just
like, oh, whatever, this game's just a mess.
Yeah.
It was a mess. Especially with the way that Rain plays. He's very articulate, very calculated with his builds. This game was just a mess from the get-go. So he's like, all right, whatever. You killed me. Let's just go to the next game.
Yeah, a strange game from Rain in game number 1. But Hydra capitalized off the back of 9 or 10 pool.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do
I mean, he fell behind so early on, and then there's the 3 gateways. It didn't defend against anything. They didn't attack against anything. So it was just a mess. It was all because of that early 9-10 pool, whatever it was. Yeah. So he just says, well, all right, whatever.
Well, Hydra's well on his way to defeat yet another Protoss here.
It looks like I'm observing this one.
Oh, all right.
Didn't invite you, mate.
Sorry about that.
All right, so it's going to be me. I'm good at observing. I'm ready.
Got his knuckles cracked and everything. He's good to go.
Ready.
All right, Yonsu is our map, apparently, here between Rain and Hydra for game number 2. And I think Rain here just
tightens up.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll probe scout like to find an early pool. Sometimes I don't even think we'll see it. All right, have I done everything right?
We'll soon find out once we get into the game. So let's get into game number 2, as we do have Rain and Hydra on the way. Yes, looks good to me.
Great.
Awesome.
Now it's bad.
Oh, now it's bad.
Now it's good.
Now it's good.
Now it's bad.
Yep.
Now it's good.
Good job, Sean. Good job. All right, spawning up to the top right, we have Mr. Rain, currently 1 game down in this best of 3. And down to the bottom left, we have Hydra, the Protoss killer. Oh no, you're doing the
I
spins.
can't spin, no.
You can't zoom?
No, the zoom's disabled.
Oh, what a shame.
You ever try to cast a game like this? Like, just hold this down and try to observe and cast the game? It looks so much different.
It really does look different, doesn't it? All the buildings look different. It's a weird situation. I remember. I think it was Artosis said that he was gonna like practice with it like stuck down with a piece of tape, and then he'd like turn up to a tournament or something, and everyone would just be like, "What? Oh, my brain!"
It almost makes me feel almost. I don't know if anyone else gets this. I'm gonna stop it. It made me feel a little bit motion sick.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, you know when you travel on a train and you're sitting in the opposite direction?
Yeah, I get you.
It kind of like that.
Yeah.
I gotta stop it.
Dude, try and observe the whole game like that.
No, it makes me sick. I had to stop it. All right, so 15 pool this time. And Reyna's actually gonna scout this time. Look, very early. He's gonna go in and be like, all right, no super early pool.
Mm-hmm.
That means he'll cancel the Zealot this time.
All right.
He knows he can.
Yeah, he does. He certainly does. And again, Yonsu's a bit of an interesting map on in general. Zergs really don't like playing on it that much. Can be hard for them.
Yeah, I mean, this map, with the 3rd base, you break the rocks here, and you can take this back one. It's kind of easy to wall off here. Force fields, I mean, if the Zerg attacks down the ramp, you can force field really nicely. This area in the green box is not that big either to force field. This is always a nice choke area. And it's a very small map, so attacks hit you a lot faster than they would do on other maps, of course, because the travel distance is smaller.
It's really not that fun as a Zerg actually attacking into the 3rd base either, just in general, because where the brush is positioned, most of the time you see, Protoss have like Colossi and therefore granted the air vision very quickly, whereas if you're just stuck on like Roach Hydra, unless you've got like an Overseer with you, which sometimes is skipped for one reason or another, which is a bit strange, then you can have a hard time pushing through there, so got to be careful about that sometimes.
This build, by the way, by Rain's pretty greedy when it comes to just regular opens, but because it was such an early scout and he knew that there was no aggression coming, he was able to get away with this. It's like a fastened Nexus off a gateway without the gases, because he went gateway and then the Nexus, then the double gases. He had to chrono boost out a Zealot or 2 Zealots to make sure that he doesn't take any probe losses here. Nice opening from Rain.
Yeah, he's going to stabilize a whole lot better than he did in game number 1, because that just actually never happened. The Overlord sees everything that's going on, though. He saw the timing on the Cybernetics core, etc.
Therefore, threw down a fast 3rd. Because you don't really throw down a super fast 3rd against gateway types of expansions. Oh, he actually got a probe there.
Oh, no.
You don't really throw down the fast 3rd hatchery like this because you are scared of a Cybernetics core just being chrono boosted and an attack coming. But he saw that the Cyber core was a little bit later. And the Nexus was faster, therefore he's content with getting this 3rd down. And it's actually really difficult to defend without the rocks being killed if there was a gateway attack.
Yeah, having to go all the way around to defend it is really annoying. And just as a Zerg in general, killing off those rocks pretty early is kind of irritating, right? You don't want to be making too many units that are idle. You want to be powering out drones.
Yeah, you actually have to creep spread. You can't kill these rocks. So.
Exactly. It's really annoying.
So Stargate's on the way here. So it's just a gateway over into this fast Stargate. I would be expecting Phoenixes here. Rain's very good with his Phoenix control. He's very good at multitasking. You get a damage done and dealt.
Little zapping going on. This Zergling trying to get another probe. Actually, really good control here by Hydra, but not getting it in the end. And Stalker does move out. And even this poke alone at this 3rd base is really annoying because of how the architecture works of the map in general.
Yeah, he's going to lose his queen. This queen's absolutely going to die.
Yeah.
Drone gets evacuated, but there are 20 lings on the way to help with this, but that's a lot of lings. It's not a lot of drones.
It is, and look how much damage that hatch is going to take all the while. I mean, Rain knows that he can't really evacuate out those units without the mothership core, so he just tries to get as much damage done as possible. And this weakens it for later on if he wants to push there. Look how much he's done.
He's got the Oracle coming too.
It's great.
After picking off that queen, I usually we do see the Phoenixes here, but he's like, well, I picked off a queen.
Oh, those 2 Zealots position as well.
There's not going to be any anti-air. That's nice, yeah.
And well, that Stalker will end up dying off. But again, half of a hatchery is not too bad in terms of the damage done. The Oracle will move over to the left-hand side here to try and do some damage.
Oh, and he's got a Void Ray follow-up here. The Void Ray is absolutely going to be for this hatchery.
Is this just a reactionary option?
Yeah, I think so a lot more. He's got the probe down here as well. If he can get a couple of zealots to join the Void Ray,
this is going to be a lot of power.
it's going to be a lot of power, and he could actually really put himself in a good lead here. The Queen, actually there's a Spore Coil being made. That's really nice. Otherwise he would have taken a lot more damage than this.
I will push it away. Oracle can't get too much more done there with the Roach Warren now going down to be able to deal with any kind of gateway pokes. Because again, it's again the compensatory move, right? You've taken half damage on that hatchery. You know it's going to be a big point of contention. So you do have to have that in place to try and defend yourself.
All right, so the Oracle's coming down. 2 sentries sneaking out. This has not been spotted here by Hydra.
Sneaky, sneaky.
And the pylon's over here. And if he can get to this hatchery... Well, oh look, he's actually going to take a third. Is he going to try this to get this hatchery or not? I mean, he's only got 2 gateways, so it's not like he has a high amount of units.
I guess after he takes his third, he could go there, and I think that the Void Rays at least. How many queens are at the 3rd base? Since I'm not in this current game, there's a well, the Spore Crawler's not going to be too helpful if he engages in the right direction. And again, the creep spread between these 2 bases isn't superb just yet, so the Void Rays could go and snipe that out.
Yeah, but I mean, if we take our focus away from that, there is a Spire coming quite early on against Void Ray play, and it has not been spotted yet. He hasn't seen anything, whether it be the Hydralisk Den hidden towards the back or the Spire. And the Spire could be quite dangerous here.
I really like the Spire being added on, like, near where Spore Crawlers have already been spotted by Hydra, by Rain, because, you know, if you think that, there's not really going to be too much of an option of that Oracle going in there and scouting around. It's already been zoned out by the Spore Crawler, so that's cool.
So Sentry Void Ray, for the time being, there's a lot of gas in the bank. These Mutalisks are going to do a lot. I mean, there is nothing really to deal with them at the moment. Imagine if Mutalisks right now were in the main base. What does he have? Gateways are coming in now, but for the time being, nothing.
Yeah, very little indeed. The pylon does get spotted down to the bottom right-hand side here for Hydra, so that does deny Rain from actually going for some aggressive moves later on. And Hydra is going to throw down his 4th base, but 12 Mutalisks. Whoa, Phoenix production just started.
I mean, you've got to be wondering, right? Where is the gas?
Yeah.
Where are the gas units? He's only seen Zerglings. He's like, wait a minute, where are they? Aha!
Revelation.
Nice. Now he sees. Now he knows. So in this point, maybe cannons. Yeah, cannons would be nice.
It's certainly one option, right? I mean,
yeah, well, he has to. I mean, he's got limited area units.
Only 1 Stargate. That's a tough position.
2nd Stargate coming in. He's seen it now. Is it enough time? Did he buy himself enough time? Because they're already out.
Well, not only is the +1 for the Flyer starter, but also +1 for range, so he can transition out of this quite nicely if he wants to, if his opponent feels like he's prepared himself well enough. But right now, that cannon is super late, and Stalkers have to be warped in here in desperation to try and stop this. And loses all the Stalkers. Photon Overcharge will push this away. He has quite a lot of anti-air now that everything's clumped together.
Yeah, and he didn't take that many probe losses, look.
Yeah, not too bad.
And he's so far this is good. It was actually the Oracle did, I think we can say, safely buy him enough time to protect himself. And now there's absolutely a chance for a nice swing of a counterattack from Rain. With all these gateways now finishing up. How many is he on? That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gateways. Blink's on its way. Phoenix is going up. I definitely think he could kind of hit some timing soon. He realizes his opponent's on 4 bases. Tech switches could be happening. And Hydra realizes that too, that he could be in danger soon to a counterattack of like Blink Stalkers and just ground units. He switched over to Swarm Hosts with a very nice creep spread aiming towards his 3rd.
Does the Oracle have enough energy for Envision?
I don't know where the Oracle is.
He's disappeared somewhere. But anyway, the Mutalisk's actually being chased away by those Phoenix, and he doesn't have...
Oracle's dead.
Oracle died. Oh, okay. Not so good. So he needs to replenish that, because he doesn't actually have a robo facility, does he? So,
Nope. He does not have any vision.
No.
But, yeah, this is... so he's moving forward towards his 4th base, but these Swarm Hosts will be fine to push this back, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Hydralisk as well? Yeah, I think so.
This army's
Robo's
strong.
coming in now. Rain's going to move forward.
It's going to take a
lot
while.
of Phoenixes, but, I mean, it's almost quite high.
Yep, they just position themselves nicely. A lot of...
but imagine if you force-fielded, though. Like, a line to kill the 4th.
And then just completely... Yeah, and there we go. There's the force fields. And now... Does he have the Mothership Core there to recall out?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Well,
didn't kill the 4th,
do
though.
any damage,
But now he realizes what he's up against. In this position, you almost, I would feel, need 2 Robos to catch up in Colossus count, because you're now in a position as a Protoss player where you're like, oh, this is a lot of Swarm Hosts, and I don't really have anything to deal with them. So I wonder if he throws down a 2nd Robo. I mean, how does he try to deal with this?
I would like second Robo. I mean,
Do we see a robotics bay? Where's the robotics bay?
currently not around. There we go. There, it does go down. But on these 3 bases, he has enough money to start the second Robo facility if he wants to. So, as he said, that second one would help out a lot. He needs Colossi out fast, and he needs them now, unless he's somehow got the luckiest pickups with these
Second robotics
Phoenix.
facility.
There we go, yeah. Oh, dear.
No,
Okay.
he's not playing this as Rain.
No, yeah, sorry. A few more gateways going down. And +3 even starts up for Rain as well. So his upgrades are doing all right, at least. And getting Zealot charge. I guess just try to close gap once these Locusts have headed on out.
Yeah, they got +2 attack. These do a lot of damage here. And he is starting to just edge his way forward a little bit, I'd imagine, soon. He doesn't want his opponent to take a fourth. That's the most important part of all of this for Hydra. Keep your opponent limited on resources, which at the moment Rain is. Corruptors are coming in, and also Hive. So with the Corruptors coming in with +2 attack on the way, Colossus really aren't going to be doing that much. Hydra's playing a very good game here. Remember that he won the first game as well, with Rain just kind of not having a good game at all. The one weakness of Stormhost is their, lack of mobility, which is what we're trying to see from Rain to abuse.
But he keeps losing Phoenix everywhere.
Yeah, Hydras are everywhere.
Yeah. Like, regardless of what happens here.
Look at this Corruptors, just kind of like, all right, where's the Warp Prison, buddy?
Exactly.
I know it's a style you're going to play.
Aren't they're going to find it.
Wow. So he's like, stops the weakness of, he's going to get it with Hydralisks.
Oh, Hydra's all over him.
So now this becomes a part where Rain can't harass him because he's using his double robotics facility for Colossus. And we're going to see a movement forward here, I'd imagine. I don't think he's looking to get up to... what's the unit name called? Vipers?
Yeah. But at the same time, Sean, should this double Void Ray production have just started earlier? Because I think he's going to need it for what's about to hit him. He's started
very
it
strong
again.
attack. Rain, okay, so he's trying to get to the fourth. This is like a no-no for Hydra. You have to keep him away from a fourth. He knows it's going to happen now. So this is where he goes. This is a no-no. This is not allowed to happen. So does he attack the third now while the fourth is going up? Does he try to siege it from the high ground? Whatever the case, I really don't think that he wants to allow this so easily to be taken.
The Locusts, they'll be heading over to try and do something at this location, but for now the Hydra's microing around and killing off Zealot harassments over on the right-hand side. It's very, very important that he just kind of actually maxes out and just gets something done and then starts the trades, because he, on the 4-2-5 bases that he's going to have up soon, is going to start building a bank, amassing a bank, and, well, killing off an Observer is certainly a good start.
Well, he's gone up to the Greater Spire. He's gone for the ultimate composition now.